After the baby shower, I opened my app. $35,000 vanished overnight. My cousin smiled. It's just a little gift. From you to me. I grabbed my bag and said, perfect. Now watch what happens next. She turned pale as the door swung open. The moment I saw the notification pop up, my stomach dropped. $35,000. Gone. I stared at the screen, willing it to be a mistake. A glitch. A hack. Anything but what I feared. Hey, you okay? My cousin Danielle asked sweetly, swirling her mimosa as she lounged on the couch like the queen of the party. I didn't answer. I just turned my phone to face her. Her eyes flicked to the screen. The smile never left her face. It just sharpened. Oh, she said with a little laugh. That. Come on, it's not that serious. It's just a little gift. From you to me. I blinked, trying to process her words. My pulse thundered in my ears. Excuse me. Danielle leaned forward, her manicured fingers brushing imaginary lint from her floral dress. You always say family should help each other. So, I helped myself. You're doing fine, aren't you? People were still buzzing around the living room, clinking glasses, passing pink cupcakes, talking about due dates and nursery paint. The baby shower was still in full swing, but I could barely hear anything beyond the blood rushing in my head. You stole from me, I said, my voice dangerously calm. She rolled her eyes. Stole? Wow, that's dramatic. It's not like you're struggling. I never gave you my account, I hissed. Oh, please. She waved a hand. You used your phone to send money to the caterer last night and left it charging in my kitchen. I saw your PIN. 4 digits, real Fort Knox, by the way. She sipped her drink and smirked. Anyway, it's already spent. So what now? You gonna cry in front of everyone? Make a scene. I stood up slowly, my fingers wrapped around the handle of my bag. Perfect, I said. Danielle's smirk faltered. Now watch what happens next. And just as I said it, like a perfectly timed cue, the door swung open. Danielle's fiancé stepped in, confused and flushed, holding a half-opened envelope and a printed receipt. Danny, he said slowly, why is there a transfer from your cousin's account to your PayPal labeled refund, baby gift scam? Her face went white. The room began to quiet. Heads turned, and I finally let the rage I've been swallowing for years rise to the surface. Danielle's mouth opened and closed like a dying fish. W, what are you talking about? She stammered, reaching for the envelope her fiancé held. But he took a step back. Don't, he said. Don't lie to me, Danielle. This isn't the first time something's been off with your gifts from family. A few guests gasped. Someone actually dropped a cupcake. Danielle's mother, Aunt Claire, rushed over. What's going on here? She stole from me, I said, lifting my phone and shaking it in the air. She transferred $3,500 from my account after snooping on my phone. Claire turned to her daughter, scandalized. Please tell me this is a joke. Danielle straightened her back. Everyone calm down. I was going to pay her back. She wouldn't give it to me when I asked. When you asked? I laughed, incredulous. You never asked. You just took it. Like always. Danielle turned to the crowd. She's always been like this. Making drama out of everything. She's bitter and broke. She didn't even want to come today. I stepped closer, lowering my voice so only she could hear. You begged me to come. You even sent me that passive-aggressive invite with a note that said, it would mean so much if just this once you weren't selfish. Her jaw clenched. Oh, you didn't think I'd keep receipts? I added, tapping my bag. Funny thing is, I brought something too. I reached inside and pulled out a printed bank statement. Let's talk about that time you borrowed $1,200 for emergency dental surgery last year. I flipped the page. And the $800 for your rent that month you lost your job. And the $450 for the baby shower planner you fired after 2 weeks because she wasn't aesthetic enough. Should I keep going? Danielle was shaking now. You said it was all temporary, I went on. But guess what I learned? You have a job. You never lost it. You just wanted a new couch. Whispers filled the room. Danielle's fiancé looked like someone had gut-punched him. You lied to me? About losing your job. I was going to surprise you, she mumbled, then turned to me, voice rising in desperation. Why are you doing this? Because I'm done being your bank. And you can't manipulate your way out of this one. She scoffed, trying to recover. It's not like you're some saint. You live alone. You don't have kids. You have no life. What else are you going to do with your money? Something inside me snapped. I stepped up onto the ottoman literally and raised my voice. You want to know what I was going to do with my money? Maybe save for a down payment. Maybe travel. Maybe not wake up every month wondering how much of my income you're going to drain next. Now everyone was silent. You know what's really funny? I added. I've helped Danielle with everything since we were teenagers. Clothes, bills, bail once if we're being honest. But it was never enough. Because when you keep giving to someone who only takes, they do not thank you, they just wonder why it was not more. Aunt Claire gasped. That's your cousin you're talking about. No, I said calmly. That's my thief of a cousin I'm talking about. I looked around at the guests. And all of you sitting here clapping for her curated Pinterest perfect life? She built it on guilt. On lies. And on my bank account. Danielle exploded. You think anyone here cares about your sob story? You're pathetic. You think you're so much better than me because you pay your bills on time and post quotes about boundaries on Instagram like it makes you a good person. I smiled coldly. No. But I am better than a 34-year-old manipulator who throws herself a baby shower with stolen money. She lunged forward, but her fiancé stepped between us. Stop, he said, voice low. Just stop. And then the final detonation. He turned to me, voice calm but deadly serious. Did she steal from anyone else? I froze. You mean like her parents? Friends? Me? I didn't want to say it, but I couldn't lie. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised. Danielle's face was pure horror now. Her fiancé looked down at her, finally seeing her for what she was. You told me your grandma's pearls were stolen, he said slowly. Did you pawn them? Danielle didn't answer. You sold them, didn't you? Someone in the back gasped. A few women stood up and left the room. Are you happy now? She shrieked at me. You've ruined everything. I slid off the ottoman, grabbed my purse, and slung it over my shoulder. Good, I said quietly. Now maybe I can start rebuilding my life. And I turned and walked out, leaving Danielle, her fake smiles, and her perfectly decorated lies behind me. I didn't even make it halfway to my car when I heard Danielle scream behind me. You think you won? This isn't over. You think I'm the only one who took money from you? I froze. Turned. What does that mean? She was standing at the top of the porch steps, mascara streaked, hair wild, holding her belly like it gave her moral high ground. You think you're this noble little victim? Maybe check who else has been in your pockets. That stopped me cold. What are you talking about? She laughed bitter, shaking. Oh, you still don't know, do you? Maybe ask your mother. The words hit me like a truck. What? Ask your mom, Danielle repeated, smirking through her ruined lipstick. Ask her what happened to that inheritance from Grandpa you never saw. Ask her what really paid for their renovations. Something inside me cracked. I turned and got into my car, not to drive away, but to drive to my parents' house. It took 20 minutes to get there. I don't remember the road. My fingers were white-knuckled on the wheel the whole time. When I arrived, Mom was in the kitchen as if nothing had ever happened, sipping tea like it was 1952. Hey, honey, she said, not looking up. How was the baby shower? I dropped my bag on the floor and placed both hands on the table. Where's Dad? She blinked at me. What? Where? Is Dad? In the garage, I think. Why? What's going, eh? You stole my inheritance. The teacup stopped midair. What? I said, my voice shook, louder now. You took the money Grandpa left me, didn't you? Mom put down the cup slowly. Oh, that money, she said carefully. Sweetheart, that was a family decision. We were going through a rough patch at the time. You used my college fund to redo your bathroom and pay off Dad's credit card. You told me Grandpa didn't leave me anything. She didn't deny it. Instead, she folded her hands and gave me that look, the one she always used when I was a child, when she wanted me to shut up and behave. You didn't need it, she said finally. You had a good job. Danielle was struggling. Your father's heart meds were expensive. That money was mine. We are your family. No, I said coldly. You're a machine that eats and takes and feeds Danielle. And I was just another input. At that moment, Dad walked in from the garage. What's going on? I turned to him. You knew too, didn't you? He paused. His jaw flexed. We were trying to keep the family afloat. With my money? He didn't answer. I laughed, sharp, joyless. Wow. You all really got comfortable stealing from me, huh? We didn't steal, Mom snapped, suddenly sharp. You're being dramatic. You're not some victim here, you just didn't need it as much as the rest of us. I reached into my bag and pulled out a folder. I had kept every bank statement, every suspicious withdrawal I never authorized, every deposit that went missing. I dropped it on the table. You better hope this is all it is, I said. Because if I find out you forged anything else. You wouldn't dare, my mother hissed. Oh, I would. My phone buzzed just then. A message. From Danielle. Oops. Almost forgot. You might want to check your credit score. Again. My heart dropped. I opened the app. Stared at the alert. New credit account opened, $15,000 line approved yesterday. Are you kidding me? I clicked into the details. And then I saw it. Co-signer, Margaret J. H., my mother. You opened a credit card in my name? I whispered, turning toward her. Yesterday. She blinked. Then she smiled. You're overreacting, she said sweetly. It's just temporary. We needed something for the nursery. I said slowly, voice trembling. For Danielle, she said. She's having a baby. She needs help. You committed identity fraud. She sighed. It's family. You're so obsessed with money, you're losing your sense of duty. That was the last straw. I pulled out my phone and hit record. Pointed the camera at her. Go ahead, I said. Say that again. What are you doing? Say it. Say what you just said. About the card. About Danielle. My dad stepped forward. Turn that off. I didn't. Either you pay it back tonight, I said, or I go to the police tomorrow. And I press charges. You wouldn't. Try me. The room was frozen. And then a voice from the hallway broke the tension. It was Danielle's fiancé. He stood there, holding Danielle's phone. I saw her messages, he said. The ones to your mom. The ones about taking advantage of you before the baby's born. I thought she was joking. He stepped forward and placed the phone on the table. She wasn't. Then he looked at me. I'm done with her. And if you want to go nuclear, I'm with you. I was stunned. Why are you here? I followed Danielle home after the shower. She was drunk. Ranting. And when she passed out, I read her chats. All of them. She planned everything. He turned to my parents. She told you this baby is yours, didn't she? That you be the godparents, that you be involved forever. My mother said nothing. She was never going to pay you back, he said. She was just using all of you. And the baby. He hesitated. What about the baby? I asked. He swallowed. It's not mine. Danielle's ex-fiancé stood in my living room, holding her phone with that bombshell still ringing in the air. The baby's not mine. Silence. Thick and choking. What? My mother gasped, gripping the edge of the table. She betrayed me, he said plainly. I saw the messages. She was planning to move in with you, drain your daughter a bit more, and once the baby came, disappear. He looked at me then. I read all of it. The messages, the money requests, the plans. Danielle said, and I quote, she's too soft to fight back. I couldn't even speak. I had waited years for this moment. And now it was unraveling in real time, all the lies, the guilt, the manipulation. Mom jumped to her feet. We didn't know. She told us, you signed a credit card in my name, I snapped. That's a felony. Relax though. I won't send you to jail. She let out a breath of relief. Because I'm going to do something worse. Their faces paled. I hired a lawyer. And within 72 hours I filed a civil suit against Danielle and my own mother for fraud, theft, and unauthorized financial access. Danielle tried to reach me. Sent voice notes, crying emojis, long texts about, please, we're family, and I just panicked. Said it was a one-time mistake. I ignored it all. But my lawyer didn't. We subpoenaed Danielle's bank records. And what did we find? A brand new Chanel purse, $3,800. A deposit for a leased Tesla, $1,500. A VIP Mom-to-Be Club membership, $600. And $20,000 wired to a foreign account. She wasn't broke. She wasn't panicking. She was planning her escape. With my money. And when her lawyer received the lawsuit notice, Danielle lost it. First, she tried to pin it on my mom. Then her ex. Then even me, claiming my coldness, pushed her into desperation. That's when I sent my message through legal channels. Pay it back. Every cent. Or I press criminal charges. A week later, she wired me $8,117.49, bank and credit refund. $35,000 stolen from my card. $2,000 emotional damages. I didn't even need court. She folded the second she realized I wasn't scared anymore. My mom? She tried denial. Tried the old lines. We raised you. You owe us. We didn't mean harm. I gave her one option. She pays off the fraudulent credit line she opened in my name. She never asks me for money again. And if she violates that, I file criminal charges. She paid. No more manipulation. No more playing the poor victims. They were just exposed. And Danielle? A month later, she started quietly selling everything: the baby furniture, the bouncy seat, the changing table. Her lease was terminated. Her fiancé dumped her. Her parents refused to let her move back in. Because for the first time in my life, I refused to rescue my mother. And she had to face the daughter she made into a villain and now watched turn into a hurricane. I moved cities, took time off, started painting again. And for the first time in years, I wasn't checking my account in fear. I wasn't thinking about who needed something next. I was just living. And then 2 months later, I got a message from Danielle's ex-fiancé. Thank you. If you hadn't exposed her, I'd still be stuck in that lie. You saved me. I hope you're finally doing something just for you. I stared at the screen and smiled, because finally I was. I wish I could say the dust settled right away, that the day Danielle wired back my money, the clouds parted and my world healed. But that's not how it works. Healing isn't a straight line. It's a series of quiet, defiant choices. Some small, like ignoring a call I once would have answered out of guilt. Others bigger, like finally saying no to people who only ever called me when they needed something. But it started with one realization. I was never crazy. I was just being drained. For years I thought maybe I was the problem. Too cold. Too distant. Too protective of my time, my space, my boundaries. But now I know I wasn't broken. I was just being pulled apart by people who benefited from me doubting myself. Danielle. My mother. Even my father in his silence. They didn't love me for who I was. They loved me for what I could do for them. For what I could give them. I was the safety net. The fixer. The quiet bank account no one ever thanked. And now? I've closed the vault. I live in a new city now. My apartment is smaller, but it's mine. The light comes in strong every morning through tall windows, and there's a corner where I paint, something I stopped doing years ago because I didn't have time. Translation, because Danielle always had another crisis. I've joined a book club. Started cooking again. Went on a date with a guy who didn't ask what I do for a living, but what I love to do. And I didn't lie or downplay. I told him everything. And it felt good. There's no longer this feeling in my chest, the one I used to carry like a brick of guilt. It's gone. Some nights I still get texts from relatives. You and your mom should talk. Life's too short. Danielle's having a hard time. Can't you just forgive her? Family sticks together. But I've stopped responding. Because here's the truth no one wants to admit. Family that only loves you when you're useful isn't family. It's a debt collection agency with your last name. I remember one moment vividly. It was about 2 weeks after Danielle paid me back. I got a letter handwritten from my grandmother's sister. We weren't close. She'd always been quiet at gatherings, sitting at the edge of the room, knitting or watching with tired eyes. Inside the letter she wrote, I saw what they did to you. I wish I had spoken up sooner. They did the same thing to your aunt back in the day. She never recovered. But you? You broke the chain. I'm proud of you. I cried reading that. Not because I was sad, but because for the first time someone saw me. Not as difficult. Not as cold. Not as selfish. As brave. Danielle's life unraveled fast. Word got out. Her Instagram, once full of baby bump photos and bless mama vibes, went dark. Mutual friends stopped defending her. Her name dropped from group chats. She moved in with someone new last I heard. But I don't hate her. Not anymore. Because hate takes energy. And I've given her enough. My mom? She hasn't reached out in weeks. Not since the day I told her. I forgive you. But that doesn't mean you get access to me anymore. Forgiveness isn't reconciliation. It's not an invitation to walk back and like nothing happened. It's me saying I let it go, but I also let you go. And I'm okay with that. You know what surprised me the most? How peaceful life feels when you're not constantly being pulled in 10 directions. How light your chest is when you're not calculating how to help people who wouldn't blink before ruining your credit score. How freeing it is to look at your phone and not brace for a crisis. I spent years thinking that loving family meant losing myself. That I was supposed to endure. Be the strong one. The helpful one. The one who never said no. But now? Now I'm the one who walks away without explanation. Who doesn't beg for understanding. Who protects her peace like it's sacred. Because it is. So if you're reading this and you've ever been made to feel guilty for protecting yourself. If you've ever been called selfish for saying no. If your kindness has been weaponized. If your bank account is their lifeline but your feelings are invisible. Let me say this clearly. You're not selfish. You're not cold. You're not wrong. You're just tired. And you have every right to stop bleeding for people who won't even hand you a bandage. They called me selfish. Now they call me gone. And honestly, that's the most peaceful name I've ever answered to.